The way that you waste your life is by living according to someone else's values. People end up living someone else's life, following rules that were never theirs to begin with. It's time to stop doing what you think you should do and start doing what you truly want to do. If you find yourself saying things like, I should be doing this, I need to do that, or I have to get this done, you're living by someone else's standards, not your own. If you can live a life where you line up your true values with meaningful actions, then you, my friend, will end up right where you're meant to be, living a life of purpose. But how do you do that? You might ask yourself. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. And at the end, I'm going to give you an exercise that could just change your life. Here's the thing. Most people have no idea what their real values are. They think they do, but they're just repeating what society drilled into them. The values of their parents, teachers, preachers, and anyone else who influenced them growing up. Let me show you what this looks like. This line is your reason for change. You're either acting out of inspiration or out of desperation. This line is your motivation. At one end, you're externally motivated by reward or punishment. At the other end, you're driven by your own internal fire. In this quadrant is fear. You're driven by fear of consequences, guilt, and shame. You know you're here when you say, I should. There's no power here. This quadrant is obligation. You're driven by an internal sense of duty or responsibility, but still out of desperation. This is when you're saying, I have to. This quadrant is respect. You have moved to inspiration, but something external is still motivating you, like wanting others to value you. This is where you say, I want to. And this quadrant here is purpose. This is when you're driven by your internal fire to act on pure inspiration. These are actions that give you energy rather than take it away. This is when you think, yes, I get to. Here, you're living your purpose. This is what you value. But the problem is, most people live in the other three quadrants because that's what social norms influence you to do. So most people aren't living by their own values. That's why it feels like something's missing. And if there's something you want to change in your health, wealth, or performance, you'll only get powerful results if you can move yourself to purpose. Here's the truth. When you're constantly stuck in that cycle of obligations and shoulds, you're holding yourself back from tapping into your real potential. You're living a life on autopilot, driven by expectations instead of purpose. That's why most people never reach their true potential. They're too busy being who they're conditioned to be rather than who they're meant to be. The moment you realize this, it's like flipping a switch. You take ownership and you break free from the noise and you start living according to your own terms. That's when your performance skyrockets. Your health gets dialed in because you're not drowning in stress or guilt. Your wealth builds because you're finally leveraging your real strengths, and your entire life becomes something that's uniquely yours, something you're proud to live. You say, I get to. So how do you do it? Well, here's what I want you to do. I call this the Wake Up Call Values Exercise, and it only takes 10 minutes, but it's going to shift how you see yourself forever. I'm going to give you a list of 18 core human values, not corporate buzzwords, and I want you to place each one into one of three buckets. Not important to me, important to me, non-negotiable. This must be part of my life. This alone reveals so much. You'll start to notice things you thought were important, maybe aren't. Now look at what you've called non-negotiable and ask yourself, did I choose this or was it programmed into me? This is where people start to squirm because they realize they've built their whole life chasing validation, not purpose. Or chasing freedom but choosing comfort over courage every time. This step is the truth mirror. Look into it. Now, here's where the magic happens. Take those top values, the ones that are real and chosen, and ask, which one of these, if I lived by it fully, would make everything else easier? This is how you build a new hierarchy, a value system that actually fuels the life that you want, not the one you settled for. This is the moment that you take back your life, when your values are truly yours and they're in the right order. You stop surviving and you start to build a life that feels like home. Once you've finished this exercise, don't just discard your list, make it visible. As you plan your day, look at the list and make sure you're taking actions each day that are consistent with that list. Just watch what happens to your life. And if you want the full list of values plus the worksheet to do this properly, I've put it together for you in a free downloadable PDF. Just click the link in the description and you'll get access. Do the work. It'll blow your mind. If you got something out of this content, please like and subscribe. And if you actually have any questions in the area of health, wealth, and performance, please let me know. I'm new to this YouTube game, but I have 20 years of helping people reach their biggest goals. So I'd love to help you. But for now, it's bye from me.